Remember that promise, gentlemen. I'll never give up. Because if I do, then I give up on the ones beside me. I'll never give up. Because if I do, then I give up on the ones that believe in me. If the person next to me gets down, I'll pick him up, and he the same. I'll never give up. I'll believe in the cause. I'll fight till the end, and we will win. This is our promise. Gentlemen, you guys made that promise to me. Did you win any games? No. But you know what? Listen. You gentlemen all won in life. Let me explain to you why. You gentlemen have endured the most adversity in this entire student population. You gentlemen had to hear comments on Facebook. You had to hear the criticism in the community. Can't even go get a fresh one without people criticizing. But you gentlemen continue to fight. You did not quit. That is something special, gentlemen. That is special. You hear your little chit-chatters now, the laughs? No one could endure what you gentlemen did. Take this and build on it. That was success in my eyes. I pray to God that I'll be able to be on the coaching staff this upcoming season. I pray to God because I know for a fact, having a football team with players that can stick it out for an 0-10 season, we're going to turn around. So I pray that I am on that staff next season. Thank you, gentlemen. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Now back to me. Again, my name's David Valenti Maurice Kennedy. I know a lot of you are like, why are you throwing out your whole cover? I didn't put it on the book. There's a purpose for that. There's a purpose for that. My name means something. One point in life, one point in time in my life, I really didn't know what my name meant. You see, my mother's maiden name is Kennedy. My father's last name is Valenti, so my father's name is David Valenti. So I have David Valenti. My mother's name is Marion. Her maiden name is Kennedy. Maurice Kennedy. I'm actually a swing. My grandfather is a swing. I'm sure some of you probably in here are either swinging or you are related to him, even close. Now, the reason I explain this all to you, one point in my life, I had somewhat of an identity crisis. I grew up here in York, Pennsylvania, born and raised. Most of my childhood life was out Parkway, in the projects. Yeah. Represent. 192 Parkway Boulevard is where I grew up. Okay? Went to Jacob L. Devers Elementary School. Now it's K through 8. Back then it was K through 5. From there I went to Edgar Foster Smith Middle School. Then from Edgar Foster Smith I came here to York High. After York High, I went on to Phoenix Community College. From there I went to Clark Atlanta University. Now, like I told you, once upon a time, I felt like I had a little identity crisis. Why? I came from a split household. Many of you can probably relate to not having mom and dad in the household. My mother was 15 years old when I was born. Yeah, it's young, right? A little freak, huh? I mean, it's real. Let's be real. Let's be real about the situation. 15 years old, having a baby. She ain't got no business having no baby at 15. So, how do you think I felt as I started to grow and learn? I was a big mistake. So I used to ask my mom, Mom, I'm a mistake, right? Of course she'd tell me no. But she would be real. You weren't planned. You were not planned. You were not a mistake. The good Lord brought you on this earth for a reason. You know, my mother's religious, so that's what was instilled in me. Right now, I'm not so much of a religious person, I'm spiritual. So forgive me if I do say God, because I do believe. But, again, I used to feel like I was the reason for her problems. My mother graduated here a year ago. Valenti Kennedy. If you go all the way back before they even ran the 100 meters, it used to be the 100-yard dash. My mom was a star. 11.2 in the 100. Speed. She had college aspirations. So just think of this. Me being born, put that on hold. So it's a natural feeling for me to think I was a problem for her not making it even further. Okay, my father. My father was 17 when I was born. Yes, I hear you, man. Young. That's why I came out with this book, guys. It is a vicious cycle. My mother was adopted. My father was adopted. My father's half Italian. Yes. If it was a perfect world, his name would be David Sweeney, but it's not. My grandfather, Arthur Sweeney, was married to Dorothy Sweeney. And he stepped out of that relationship. That was an Italian lady. Her name is Rosanna Valenti. This lady gave her children up. Why? Because she was ashamed. This is during the 50s. Think about it. 50s, black man, Italian woman, no. That shouldn't happen. But it did. This lady gave up her children, my aunt and my father. My father was then adopted by another Italian white man named Arthur Picciotti. So he took on the name Picciotti, David Picciotti. My father never really had a mother in his life. Arthur Picciotti died at a very young age. I can remember I was like 3 or 4-ish. The whole point that I'm making is this man had no real parenting. He only learned what was taught to him. Imagine a young, biracial child raised by an elderly Italian white man. My mother was put up for adoption as well, because her mom was a hoe. Just being real with you guys. When you get to know me, I don't pull punches. I don't hold things back. As long as you respect me, I'll respect you, but I'm going to tell you what's real. So, the point I'm making is, my mother's mother has some secrets. You guys read this book, it is fictional. Everything's not true, but it is loosely based on my life. Again, her mom has some secrets as well. During that time period, promiscuity reigned supreme in York, Pennsylvania. It's still going on. People creeping. Creep. Yeah, let me get that. Yeah, y'all laughing because y'all doing it. Y'all doing it. Gentlemen, just be careful out there. Be careful. Strap it up. Come on. Be real. Be careful. Don't trip. Ladies, respect yourself. Respect yourself, ladies. It's out the window. Explain to me why. Who said that? Right here? Tell me why, really. This right here, who said it? Tell me why.
Wait a minute. Most of these girls that's laughing right now, it's over for them as we speak. There's nothing we can do about it. Girls is gonna do what they do. It all depends if you want to do it. If you're not, yeah, like it's all their opinion.
Heard female, no. Who wants to rebuttal that? Shout out to you.
First of all, it's not all the girls. They're going to do whatever they want to do. The boys persuade them to do stuff.
Persuasion. So we got some smooth operators. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Wow. We have some smooth operators.
Wait, hang on. Should people have a license to make a baby?
Now let me ask you guys this. Hold on, let me go ahead before I touch on. What else you want to say?
Alright, so look, wait a minute. About the we persuade. If y'all already know what we about, why still give it up?
Okay. I'm glad that's out on the table. Yeah, that man jump. Ladies, listen up. Listen up, ladies. What he just said, bunch of bull. Bunch of bull. I'm gonna tell you like this. Me, my man out here, DJ Chuck Mack, when we were growing up. Yes, sir, DJ Chuck Mack. We grew up, we were taught to be stone cold gentlemen. All this nug mentality, drop pants, sagging, all that. Come on, man. They did it back when I was growing up. That ain't new. This little sag under your pants, that ain't new. If y'all really knew what it meant, you would stop doing it. It came from the prisons, gentlemen. Okay, but it ain't cool. Who wants to see your nasty drawers? We don't want to see that. What you sagging for? What are you sagging for? What's sagging spelled backwards, gentlemen? Niggas. Let's touch on that word, if we please. Let's touch on the word niggas. Now, we even have white people using the word, but yet black people get offended by that. To this day, I can't understand that. Why would you get offended when you're walking around using it? It's in the music, so why shouldn't they be allowed to use it? Thank you. And I don't want to hear the whole, there's a difference between nigga, nigger. No, it ain't. What's the difference between sweating and sweating? Jumping and jumping. Hollering and hollering. What is the difference between those words? Nothing. So how are you going to tell me there's a difference between nigga and nigger? Say that again? Hey, you're a smart young man. Nasir? Because that is what had been put and instilled in their heads. The reason I bring this word up to you all, me personally, dropped it out of my vocabulary. Reason being is because there's too much controversy behind it. I already explained to you a little bit about my background. Yes, I have a little bit of Italian in me. My grandmother's full-blooded Italian. I don't know her, but I do know some of that family. What do I look like walking around saying, what up, my nigga? And what would I look like getting offended if somebody came up to me? Yo, what up, my nigga? And they'd be white. Why would I get offended? Do you understand what I'm getting at? It just doesn't make sense. Some of the things that we do as human beings. There's one thing you all need to understand. We are all human beings. You guys are a generation that my generation says is lost. There's no respect for this generation. How do you guys feel about it? Somebody, speak on this. Raise your hand. Who wants to speak on this? You? Why do you feel that your generation is so disrespected?
Well, a lot of times, to me, it's just like they say the word lost generation, but they're also a generation that raised us up. So there must be something that they're not doing right to make us seem like we're lost, or that we may have inherited from how they act. And it's like we don't have the right guidance right now.
Beautiful answer. Very eloquently said as well. It's our fault. I can't complain about you guys because I'm speaking in general. I can't complain about you because I raised you. So what do I do? It's hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. Me personally, I don't think you guys are lost. I agree with this young lady. You're misguided. Yes. Misguided. But you also have to understand there are people in my generation trying to guide you. Therefore, you need to open your mind up a little bit. Be more receptive. You guys have teachers in this audience. You have your principal. They're paying me to speak with you. They took you out of class so that you can listen to someone like me for a reason. They're trying to nurture you. They're trying to guide you. Now again, this book, A Vicious Cycle, some of these examples I was throwing out there randomly, because this is a certain pattern in the city of York, Pennsylvania. Does anyone out here know the definition of paradigm? Paradigm is a set pattern. In the business world, they use the word paradigm. It's a pattern of thinking. There needs to be a paradigm shift. Because there is a set pattern of thinking in the city of York. You students here represent not only yourselves, you represent our future. Now, you all know what's a commonality in the city of York? Cutting. Oh, he ain't. She ain't. Guess what I heard? I heard some laugh. That's like the opening statement. Instead of saying good morning, guess what I heard? Yo, check this out. Guess what I heard, yo? Come on. What did you hear? Were you there? And if you were you listening? There's a difference between hearing and listening. York High, you are our future. Like I said, I was born and raised here. I left at 18. I went to Phoenix, Arizona. Did I have a plan? No. Why did I leave and go so far? I couldn't stand it here. I hated it around here. to school at York High. I grew up in the 3rd grade, when I was in the 3rd grade at Devers, I got called into the office. Scared. I'm like, oh my God, I don't ever get put in the office. What the heck is going on? Long story short, they brought me and 2 other young ladies in there, so of course I'm really petrified. I'm in the 3rd grade, I ain't do nothing to you. Reason they brought me into that office was they wanted to let us know that we were qualified as gifted students. They were thinking about moving me and 2 other young ladies up into another grade. My mother didn't want that for me, and neither did the 2 young ladies' parents. They didn't want us getting pushed up into another grade. And the reason is, of course, you know, just being around older kids and probably not ready. So what we did do, we would go up to the 4th grade for certain classes and do 5th grade work. Now, I'm not telling you this to brag, but yes, I was very intelligent at a young age. But then circumstances started to happen. Like I told you, my mother and my father were teenage parents. What do you think goes along with teenage parenting? Are you ready to be a parent as a teen? Do you truly, honestly believe as a teen you are ready to take on the responsibility of a child? Some of you may know someone that's already in this situation. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are, or may be in the next 6 months, and they ain't told nobody, understand this. There is a responsibility that you just can't even imagine if you want your child to be successful and productive in life. You have to live for your child. You must live for your children. Put yourself behind. You got to put them first. Now, the point I'm making is with my whole story. I was a gifted child. Elementary was great. Mom and Dad used to get into it. At a very young age, I witnessed my beautiful mother being beat up. I ain't gonna say beat up because my mom's a beast. But she was struck, you know, she did get struck, wherever. So I had to witness domestic violence at a very young age. How do you think that weighs on a child? In the book, I make a quote, I say that children are like tiny sponges in this great world, this great water that we call life. That's what I say. Children are like tiny sponges soaking up this water that we call life. Think about that. They're tiny sponges soaking up this water that we call life. So that means to me, every time a child sees something, it's like a computer, you're inputting. Putting things into their heads. Some of you have already experienced this. Some of you have seen your mom and dad argue. Some of you have seen your mom and dad shoot up. Let's be real about the situation. It's not a pretty world out there. But here's the thing that you young ladies and young men need to understand. Whatever you're going through right now, someone else is either going through the same thing or worse. Yes. Or worse. Now me, again, I felt like I had an identity crisis. Like I said, I see my mom go through pure hell. And during my middle school years, she had separated from my father. They were never married. She got out of that relationship. And she got married with my sister's father. He became my stepfather. This man did everything for me. Showed up to a football game. I used to play for Boys Club back when Boys Club was football. We used to have Boys Club versus South York. The whole city would come watch us. DJ Chuck Mack played for South York. He's a year younger than me. We used to go at it. Wellington, yeah, I've never even heard of that. Yeah, it used to be East End, South York Boys Club. So anyway, my stepfather used to go to my games at Boys Club, and all of a sudden, my whole world came crashing down. Next thing you know, this man put his hands on my mother. And when you guys read this book, it's referenced in the book. So here I am again, 11 years old. I went from Devers, moved out to Cedar Village, and went to Central York Middle School for 6th grade and half of 7th. My mom couldn't take it anymore. She got a divorce with him. That left us to move back into the inner city. So I was out there at Central York Middle School for 6th grade, half of 7th. I had to come back to the city, to Edgar Foster Smith. Naturally, that's a whole different environment again for me. Yeah, I grew up out Parkway, knew a lot of people. My family lived on the West End, so my grandmother was over there, so I spent time there. I knew a lot of people. Now here I am back. So imagine that. Imagine the peer pressure coming back. Remember, I told you in elementary, labeled as a gifted student. What's another word for that? Nerd. Dork. Weird. In your eyes, maybe. Or on the average person's eyes. So being at Central, yes, I came back speaking English, not speaking white. There's no such thing as speaking white and speaking black. Acting white and acting black. Hey, miss me with all that. I was speaking English. Of course I got teased. I've been bullied since I can remember. I'm talking this young. Always been picked on. My teeth used to protrude because I had an accident. Used to call me Bucky Beaver. Yeah. I used to get mad. You guys know. That's what's the norm around here. You cut on each other. You belittle each other. So when I was younger, I used to get teased, I used to get chased, I used to run. Ah! That's right, she lived on Linden Avenue. Linden Avenue is where I used to go to Smith, Edgar Foster Smith. One time, my mother got so upset with me, running home like a little chump, a little punk. Little did the whole world know, even though I was scared and running, I knew how to use these hands. I knew how to use these hands. My father taught me how to use them, but I did not, that's just not my nature. I'm not a violent person. My mom couldn't take it anymore. She didn't know what to do. So what did she do? When I came running and crying, snatched me back up, she put my helmet. You're gonna solve this problem yourself. Got in scrap one of the toughest dudes around. Served him. Served him. I'm gonna say any names. But I'll tell you right now, that dude still has some of the most respect, and he's an OG in NYC. He's an OG in NYC. You know, I'm not even gonna say I won the fight, but I felt like I did. Now, yeah, just because I fought him back. Exactly. See, back then, we used to fight with our hands. Nowadays, it seems like, you guys don't have guns. Yes, there was a gun in the school most recently. Why are you even thinking about bringing a gun to school?
on one another. You get caught in the mix. So suppress that serious ideas that we fit. We got ourselves together so that you can unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives.
Straight from the mouth, why daddy up? Crime end up in jail and got caught. You crime and get paid today, and tomorrow you're behind bars in the worst way. Cause you lost your way. Now, do you really think crime pays on taking brother? You talking all that jazz.
Self-destruction. That's old school. That's old school. That's hip hop. I don't know what y'all listening to now. Oh, the beats be hot though. The beats be hot. They're hot. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, we had talked about you guys being the lost generation. If you continue to go down this path of doing idiotic things, such as bringing a gun to school, you are self-destructing. Not only are you killing yourselves literally out there in the streets, you're affecting everyone around you. What is your point? What are you trying to gain? Nowadays, I'm hearing that you got Southside, West End, P-Way. You can't go here unless what? I'm going where the hell I want to go. You ain't gonna tell me I can't go out east when I got family out east. You ain't gonna tell me I can't go out West End. I grew up out Parkway. You tell me I can't go somewhere? Hopefully none of you are involved in that stupidity. West side, east side, south side. But if you are, realize this. York is about what? 5 miles stretched out? The radius is very small. Half of you are related to each other. Half of you have beef with your own cousins and don't even realize it. Stop! Just stop. It's stupid. Just stop. Please, just stop. It's stupid. Your high football team, they went 0-10. Yes, I gave them credit because they stuck it out. That small group kept it family. That's what your high needs to restore. Since I've been back here, I keep hearing how York City schools ain't this, York City schools ain't that, they're a bunch of hoodlums, a bunch of thugs. Boom! I came from here. This weekend at the Mark Memorial Library, we're doing a fundraiser for my class of 1991. Meet the authors and entrepreneurs. It's going to be me with my book, and 2 other authors from my class, plus some entrepreneurs from my class. We graduated here at York High, 1991, inner city schools. A lot of us went on to college. We all grew up, right where you grew up, right here. We sat in these seats. They remodeled, we used to have balconies. But we walked the streets. We talked the talk that you talked. We lived your life. Nothing is different. We had clowns in the audience. I hear clowns now talking. No disrespect, because it's all in fun. I experienced everything that you guys are going through. I've seen a lot. Remember my father, that teenage 17-year-old parent? Didn't have the upbringing that he should have had. He tried to find love some way. Guess what? I'm the oldest of 13 kids. Woo! Money. not. Where would the time go? I mean, children need time. All of you in here need time spent with them. That's why you have these caring teachers. But what you need to understand and start doing is respect your authority. Respect your elders. In order to get respect, you have to give it. You have to earn it. And it goes both ways. Teachers, respect these kids. Do not belittle these children. Understand these kids. Understand where they come from. Learn about these kids. Take time to listen before being judgmental. Students, understand that these teachers are experienced. Whether you want to believe it or not, they put in work. They did something that you have not even came close to doing. Because they put in work. It takes work. It takes dedication to become a teacher. It's patience. These teachers have their own lives that some of them put on hold for you. You guys need to understand this. You're not the only one going through problems. You're not the only one dealing with family issues at home. You have some teachers that are having marital problems, having health problems. Their children are having health problems. Their sisters are having health problems. But yet they come to school and they take time out to address your needs. Personally, I believe that teachers should be paid minimum 6 figures. Choir Scout, 6 figures. That's it. You know why? Because if you elevate that, you're going to get quality. And they'll be paid for their work. But again, students, understand what it takes to be that. Success is measured by one's own measuring stick. I want you guys to put that in your head. Success is measured by one's own measuring stick. Back to me again. When I came from Edgar Falls Middle School, I got back here, like I told you, I went through a little drama. It was time to go to York High. At Edgar Falls, they put me in another gifted class, went down to Washington, D.C., got to meet the first female justice, Sandra Day O'Connor. Got to meet her. So I was back to where I was used to being. That nerd. I was a cool nerd. I was cool. I wasn't cool, I was killed. That's how I like to look at it, killed. Yeah. So, in the 8th grade, I was in the gifted class. Then it came time to come to York High as a freshman. Remember I told you my mother had gotten a divorce. That guy put his hands on my mom. I witnessed it. Now I'm starting to go through puberty. Starting to feel myself a little bit. And I was like, yo, ain't nobody touching my mom again. No one's touching my mother again. Of course, my mother had to live her life. She had to find herself. She dated. And she brought in another gentleman who she's married to now for 25 years. It's been. But I was not accepting him at first. This young man at the time took on my sister. She's 10 years younger than me. He adopted her, gave her his last name, which is Anderson. So here I am, David Valenti Maurice Kennedy, in the household as a Kennedy. I told you I'm the oldest of 13 brothers and sisters. They all took on the last name Valenti. I told you my grandfather's name is Sweeney, so the whole, probably half the population of Europe is Sweeney. So, Sweeney is in my bloodline, but I'm not carrying the name. Here I am in the house, a Kennedy. Nobody in my household is a Kennedy. I go over to my dad's crib, go to see my brothers and sisters. Nobody in there is a Kennedy. I go visit my cousins, who are Sweeney. Nobody there is a Kennedy. I did have some Kennedy relatives, but I really didn't, you know, my mom's side of the family, I really wasn't as close. So I didn't really hang out with them much. The point that I'm making is, I started going through this little identity crisis. Who am I? Didn't know who I was. Like, feeling some type of way. All kind of pressures are starting to come out now. I'm a freshman at York High. I'm not the coolest guy on the block. I played football all my life. I played quarterback. I was known around the city of having a strong arm. Oh, this kid's gonna be good. But me, my freshman year, outside we used to box with the gloves on. We did that for fun. My one glove wasn't tied too tight, broke my wrist. During my freshman year, didn't play at all. So, that was my only identity I had at York High. Now I'm not playing football, what else do I have? I got tired of being called a nerd. So in class, I dumbed myself down to appease my student population, my peers. I got tired of being called a nerd. So I settled for less. I always paid attention. I wouldn't do my homework, I got lazy. Next thing you know, went on into my sophomore year. One thing I did always have was a dream and a goal. I said, no matter what happens in my life, I'm going to college to play football. No matter what. Going to college to play football. My sophomore year, it was the season, 1998 season, class of '89 was the senior class. The year before, you look on the banners in the gym, 87, they went undefeated. Here I am as a sophomore now. On a team that went undefeated, they're expected to be good again. I didn't even play my freshman year. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this varsity team. I ain't playing JV. Let's do that. JV. That was just me as a person. I had confidence in myself. People told me, you even play freshman. How you gonna make varsity? Crazy? Long story short, I played every single game that season. There was a package that brought me off the bench for passing the rock. I made clutch plays that helped us win. We went undefeated again. Got upset in the district playoff, but I can always go in that gym and look up at the banners. I was part of it. I remained focused on my dream and my goal. But what I didn't remain focused on was what else needed to help me have a sustainable dream and a sustainable goal, which was hitting the books. All you athletes that are in here, they got all these aspirations going D1 and getting a scholarship. How many grades? How many of you have the grades? How many of you carrying a 3.5? I'm 42 years old. I have a 21-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter. My son's going to college. He's doing my route, the community college route. My daughter's 16-year-old. She has a scholarship offer already to Purdue University for softball. Not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to let you know. I broke this vicious cycle of behavior. When I was in school, my goal, I said, was to go to college and play football. But I didn't do what was necessary to achieve that goal. I was a knucklehead because I let my peers get to me. I stopped working as hard as I could possibly work. I stopped paying attention, as far as in class, I stopped doing my homework. I got lazy. I thought things were going to be handed to me. That following year, my junior year, we had the same talent. Unfortunately, may God rest his soul, rest in peace, Mr. Louis Atwater. You guys may have heard the name, I hope you have. Louis Atwater passed away. I was the last person to give Louis Atwater football. On the field, he dropped. Later in October, he passed away. It wasn't from football. It was a health issue. So, here I am, quarterback of this team. 2 years prior, went undefeated. This whole school was in mourning. This whole entire building was in mourning because Louis Atwater was the epitome of student athlete. He took care of business. He was respectful to his teachers. He respected authority. Everybody looked up to him. They wanted to be like him. And this kid was only 17 years old. But he had that aura about him. So when he passed away, this whole building went into mourning. We didn't even have class that day. They just said, you know what, forget it. Let's console these students. My boy here, DJ Chuck Mack, can remember. I came right down here, grabbed him up, consoled him. It was tough. This is the point I'm making. It was tough. Me being a leader of a football team, I felt like I represented this entire school. I had to keep it together. Not for myself, for my family, for my team. See, back then, York High, we believed in pride. We were a family. We supported each other. Yeah, we would cut on each other and fun, but yet we would support each other. There's no way you would find only 8 people at a football game. Basketball. You play somebody like McCaskey, Harrisburg, you best believe we come in deep to support our basketball team. I know y'all about to play basketball. I know you, Mr. Schiffer. Your mom went to school with me. Yes. Dana Schiffer. Yes. Very respectful. You can ask her the pride that we had in Europe. Our basketball players wouldn't even think about being afraid of playing somebody like Harris. I don't know if that's the same mentality, but if it ain't, y'all better get it. Not going out there starting fights. Stop all that. It's stupid. You're already looked at as hoodlums, people. Outside of these walls, they think you guys are hoodlums. Exactly. But what are we supposed to think outside these walls when you hear in the news that there's a gun confiscated at your house? Yeah, you don't have control of that because you got bad apples. But that is what's publicized. That's the perception. So you as students need to walk with a different beat nowadays. Have a sense of pride. I see a lot of you wearing York High stuff. That's awesome. That's great. But be this way out in the community. Somebody talks down on York High? Nah, we ain't that. I don't know what you're talking about. Our school has top-notch education. My teachers teach me, I learn. I don't know what you're hearing. You're high. We need to restore pride, because why? You guys are the only city school, as far as high school goes. You represent more than just this school. You represent the entire city of New York. Basketball. I know you guys are about to get going in this season. Now I'm going to tell you, I'll be real with you, my godson plays for Northeastern. So I'm going to support him. My heart is Northeastern because my nephew played football there and he was a quarterback. But my blood bleeds orange and blue. I'm orange and blue till I die. So when I see your high plan, I'm all for it. I'm following. Every chance I get, I'm following. That's why I say, follow you guys. See you play. Know you play, Mr. Shifley. And I am impressed. But what are you going to do to get to the next level? Mr. Shifley, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what are you going to do? What is your team going to do to get to the next level? Did you win a championship last year? County? District? State? That's the next level, my friend. That's the next level. Keep on working. Stay dedicated. Stay committed. Like I said, I know your mom. I know what type of person you are without even having to know you. Because I know your mother. I know you're committed. I know you're dedicated. I know you're hitting the grades. I know it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's more than just sports. When I went to school here, our band was the best. Nowadays, it looks like it's diminished a little bit. They're taking the extracurriculars out of the school. Money is a problem. That's why the state funding is all topsy-turvy. It's a problem. Guys, what I want you guys to take from this, remember what I said. Success is measured by one's own measuring stick. What that means is, what you feel is successful, that should be it. Don't try to please others. Put your work in. Have a dream. Have a vision. But in order to make your dream reality, you gotta sacrifice. Like I said, I had to go community college because I was a knucklehead. I didn't even play my senior year. I told you I played my sophomore year. I didn't even play my senior year because why? I got into it with the coach. I disrespected him. He put me on the bench my entire year. Why? Because I was having problems at home. I just took it out on him. If you're having problems at home, talk it out. Find someone you trust, someone that's been there. Don't just go lashing at the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to cause problems. So I had to go the community college route. Yes, I tore it up, #2 in the nation in passing. I could have went D1, but I had a job. That was my focus at the time. So I settled for Clark Atlanta University, Division II, because I didn't want to graduate from community college. Enjoyed my time there at Clark Atlanta University. The whole point I'm making is, in order for me to get there, I had to stay focused and I had to put in work. I had to swallow my pride and start listening to people that's been there. I had to respect my authoritative figures. That's the one thing you guys need to do. Respect your authority. Respect those that have done what you're trying to do. You're high. We need pride restored in this city. You are our future. You are York, Pennsylvania. We've all said, my generation failed. We're the ones raising you. But you have the superintendent, they're all working. Trust me, I've been to the meetings, I've been to the town hall meetings. They're trying their hardest to get this back. But it starts right here with you. Don't let the problems at home bring you down. We've all been there. Do what you gotta do to make it in life. Put in work. Bring your high back to that elevated status. When we step on the court, you fear us. When we step on the field, you fear us. When our band plays, you enjoy us because you know it's good. We got a debate team, you fear us. Tennis, fear us. We are Bearcats. Bring it on back, ladies and gentlemen. Support one another. Stop bringing each other down. That's a crab in the barrel mentality. Pull a crab out of the barrel, it's always somebody clinging down. Clinging, trying to bring him down. Uplift the next man. Uplift the next woman.
Make it on your own, and if you lay yourself
I'm gonna end this with this. I'm gonna end this with this poem that I wrote. My next book that's coming out is a continuance of this. It's called A Vicious Cycle, My Brother's Keeper. I'll leave you guys with this. And you wonder why it's a vicious cycle. It's because you refuse to recognize, you continue to stay blinded instead of opening your eyes. Ignorance is a bliss, continuously stealing your joy, as you just sit helpless and broken like a child's cheap plastic toy. Your problems become topsy-turvy as you sit back and watch, and the pain of your idle mind lying dormant feels like a hammer to the crotch. What's it going to take for you to wake up? You talk about changing, and yet you're still asleep. You're quick to denounce others. Am I my brother's keeper? Your mockery is sickening. How can you stand to look at yourself? You fire filthy logic while jeopardizing children as you chase unattainable wealth. Your reign is over. Therefore, I suggest you take heed. With the heart of a lion, unity will devour your greed. Am I my brother's keeper? You best believe that you are. Organization will drive through you like the speed of a car. Your highest time to wake up. You're no longer a sleeper. A vicious cycle is broken. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, you are.